We're good? Perfect. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Pownell Select Board Meeting on January 9th, 2025 at 6:01 PM. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Board member roll call.
Angie Rowling,
Carl Strohmeyer,
Mike Gardner.
Jamie Percy.
Brian Harris.
Everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Public comment, minutes, warrants, updates from town officials, discussion regarding fiscal year 26 transfer station rules and fees, discussion with planning commission chair, updates and future plans, grand list errors and omissions discussion and action, old town hall discussion and future plan, part-time cleaning position hiring recommendation and action, fiscal year 26 general and road budget discussion, fiscal year 26 town warning review and discussion, public comment and adjourn. And I'd like to add an executive for legal at the end of the meeting before we adjourn.
Make a motion to accept it with a change.
Second.
Agenda.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any public comment, Hannah? Moving right along. Minutes of December 19th, 2024 special select board meeting.
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions, corrections, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm gonna abstain from that, sorry. I knew that was someone I was in here, sorry. All 4 ayes, 1 abstention. Accounts payable, December 27th, $55,413.12.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable, January 3rd, 2025, $7,319.43.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable, January 10th, $22,205.94.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Payroll, December 24th, $13,295.81.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll, January 3rd, 2025, $12,159.86.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll, January 10th, 2025, $13,047.02.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Updates from town officials.
I unfortunately do not have any, but I think it's because everyone's trying to get their reports in for the annual town report. I just have one from Eddie that he still has the puppies. I have been trying to reach our state's attorney so that we can get them released, but that hasn't happened yet, so. Can't do anything until we hear from her. But that's the only update, other than the flagpole, was installed without a hitch and the back walks were finished and they look great.
Oh, the concrete work.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't have anything as zoning administrator. I will have one next meeting though. I should have. Regarding some different properties. Fiscal, discussion regarding transfer station rules and fees. That's you, Tom. Everyone has that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this came up, when I asked Tom for reports for the town report. Next year, hopefully we'll have this discussion like a month or two in advance of budgeting. Not a month or two in advance of budgeting, I mean a month or two in advance of this. like included in budgeting, because if they're gonna raise, permit costs or
Right,
raise the revenue side of things, that should be reflected on the.
right. We can adjust it on the budget.
Well, what we have, I don't need to have my own do it. The new rates, basically, the two lowest bags we have are the 13s and 20, and they're less than 40% of the total bags we get. So using my projection on that, that's and what we had last year is they had like 29,013 bags, okay? A quarter increase on those will give us $603, basically 25 cents. And then all the other bags above that go basically to 30 to the 55s. We get a 50-cent increase, and that would give us an increase of, so we have $4,270 and which year? The total for the year, excuse me, that first one was a month or the quarter. So the smaller bags will be 2277 for an increase on a year, and the 50-cent on the larger bags would be 4270. So it's 6547 is projection. So it'd be 6550 basically. Be the increase, revenues on the bags. All right. And then in order to save money, I thought, you wanted to do redo the free dump day. And that's $8,500 right there. You want to save some money.
Can I speak to that, really quick? I was just talking about Ellen, getting rid of free dump day and what that would look like. And because of the way you use free dump day, you kind of apply it to different invoices throughout the year.
Yeah.
We would have to account for that in the budget anyways.
You wouldn't be saving no money.
You wouldn't be saving any money.
You spend that money.
No,
Anyways.
we take it out of there. That's, we're spending,
You're spending it out of free dump day instead of out of your trash recycle
Right.
line.
but we're increasing the
If you
revenues.
get rid of, right, but we're still have to account for that
Right. I
money.
understand that on the way out, but on the way in, we'd increase the revenues. We're still paying to get rid of it,
Correct,
but we would get paid for it this time.
correct, but a portion of people pay the $60
Right.
plus for the thing for free dump day.
Right.
Because normally you wouldn't, why would you pay $60 for, and just pay $60 for a permit?
Well, a lot of people just recycle and that's what they pay, seriously.
But I'm saying to you, Tom, that, and you don't have any real firm figures on if we would save or not.
Well, the income would be increased, is what I'm saying.
Do you have paperwork that shows us that?
No, but basically, I know that most of them average about $45, and how many we have makes the 8,500.
I understand that.
I'm gonna go with what you're telling me, Tom, that you understand that it costs us about $8,500 for
Right.
free dump day. So I'm gonna, based on your experience over there, I'm gonna believe what you're telling us without documentation. All right, as far as I'm concerned. But what I don't want to do personally is I really, for the sake of 8,500 on a $200,000 budgetary item, I don't want to get rid of free dump day.
That's fine.
Right, but I am taking your word for it that it costs us 8,500 because you've been doing it and I think you know what you're talking about.
Here's what happened. Like honestly, it's some people come in there, they get 3 bags. I said, can I use my free dump day? I haven't used it, last year. I'm going to use it. So I said, yeah, that's fine. And you get somebody comes in there. We had some ladies that actually within the parameters, it was an 8-foot truck bed. And we counted, you took off 100 45 gallon bags. They had them strapped, they had a net over there, they were this high above the bag.
Right. So
So that was
I don't, it sounds to me like the board doesn't want to get rid of free dump day. What's your pleasure on free dump day as a board?
I would like to keep it, otherwise people are gonna throw more stuff on the
Yeah,
side of the
I
road.
want to keep it.
Actually, I'm glad you decided this, seriously.
And I understand what you're trying.
It's
Yeah,
good
we've
information.
been on you to cut costs and I understand where you were going with it and I appreciate that 100%. And I really do, except for, I don't think that's,
Well,
if we were cutting $85,000 on free dump day, then I'm all for it, but yeah. But 8,500, I'm gonna,
It's a figure that actually I think is probably very, very close.
I'm sure.
You just look at them and you know, like, oh, geez, you look at this,
So,
but it's all.
I would like you to track it this coming year. I would like you to track how much garbage goes through free dump day. You can do that. You've got plenty of time.
And
When somebody comes in, you can count the
Well-
bags up so that we know.
if you could give it a shot to try to track it.
I tell you what we'll do, I'll each dump day, I'll put another column in there. I'll give basically what, some of the things, because it's all loose sometimes. It's all loose and so forth. What I'll do, Carl, is I'll do an estimate as best I can on each one and put it beside. Yeah, make another column in the spreadsheet, because I have those listed. So I put the dates in. So what I'll do is I'll put another column in and then we'll track.
But if we don't have information, we can't make good decisions.
Well,
I understand that, but if you've done the best you can, done your due diligence on giving us paperwork. Okay,
Okay, well, that's never been asked before, but I shall.
okay.
I'll just, like I said, I'll just put another column in my spreadsheet that when they do the
Yep.
free dump day,
Yep.
I'll put down a value, you know.
Because that way we know, okay,
All right.
how much garbage is going through on free dump day. And then we'll also know how many people are utilizing free dump day. Now we can turn around and start making decisions about
I know
that.
how many people use free dump day.
But you don't know how much garbage is going through on free dump. I mean, Mike, let me finish. You kind of do, but all I'm asking for is you come in, yeah, you got 5 bags. You've got a whole bunch. Let me just guesstimate on how many you got, just so that we have some figures, that's all.
Or that or asking for a count. You might,
I know, a lot of times, they'll say what they have.
Right.
Sometimes they come in with a big load. I'll go out and take a look, make sure that they don't have
Yeah.
construction material and stuff in there that is not allowed. And
Yeah.
that's happened quite a few times that
Yeah.
people kind of sneak
Yeah.
2x4s and things like this. Like, guys, that you're gonna have to pay for.
Yeah.
So I mean, that happened, even with the, larger loads that they, for free dump days, I do inspect it.
Yep.
If somebody can say, I got 4 bags.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's easy to know.
Yeah.
That's a cheap one. But like I said, that one that we sat there and counted it, we couldn't believe it, but they had 130 gallon bags back at pickup. Unreal.
All right, so we're gonna keep free dump day. We're good with that. All right,
Okay.
and Tom's gonna do the best he can to track it. Perfect.
I
Thank
will,
you.
I will try it now.
Let's move on to the fees.
Can I ask, where did you get your, increases? Did that like cover, do we know what our, fees are gonna be for, pickup and taking away, what do you call it, trucking fees?
Well,
Have they been raised?
Trucking fees are gonna go up somewhat, but then we're gonna have way less trucking compactors yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, that's where we're really gonna do some savings. But, we just have to work on that and, it's gonna take a little bit of time before we know exactly what we're gonna have. I can only speculate right now.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get it going and, you have to tell by the pressure, that the ram has what's going in. And once it gets really high, then you call and they come in and get it the next day or whatever. So you have to watch what you're doing there.
I was just wondering if the increase, how you came about that.
The increase, as I said, the lowest 2 bags are light ones. They're $3 and $4.25. I made 25-cent increases. All the others are 50.
Right, I see I was wondering what the logic was behind it.
what's the numbers? So
Okay.
how many we had last year? You know, going from,
So you
July to
didn't, so you didn't do a 10% across the board?
That's what I'm asking.
Right, because
no,
you said that,
what would happen there? I'd be going into nickels and dimes and stuff.
Well, you roughed it up to the
That's right.
nearest 25 cent, but you would have done the 10%.
Yeah.
I was just was curious why you.
What it is, it's basically averages out to, about 9.5%, which is a pretty good jump anyhow.
but you said that the smaller bags were the least amount that you take in as a general rule.
And I
And
gave,
that's why you only raise them up a little bit.
yeah,
I mean,
but
that's
then you go from
Right.
20 gallons to 30 gallons.
Right.
And then you're going up,
to
you know,
55,
50
yeah,
cents is 10%.
right.
And the other 25, it's proportional, it brings it down so much, but it's, 8.5 to 9% basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got two questions, Tom, on the other stuff. On the refrigerators, freezers, all the ones with the Freon in it.
Yeah.
I don't, who pays for the removal of the Freon?
You do.
How much does that cost?
Not as much as we charge by far.
I just was wanting to know because we're charging 12 and I see everybody else is charging 15 for getting rid of their stuff.
They come and take the AC units and charge us a couple bucks, and it's only a couple bucks more for the
Okay.
refrigerator. The reason they take the AC, let me explain this, is that there's so many different coolants, gases they have in there, and they explained it to me. The one guy said, actually, some of them are actually deadly. These
Right.
people are going out and cutting the things and junking them. You know, they can actually kill themselves, seriously, but, you know, that's their thing. But that's why they take those back to the shop, take that, and then because they can't carry all the canisters, all the different gases
Right.
with them. But the refrigerators, there's only like 3 or 4. So that's why they do those there. The rest of them they take back.
I noticed that you're not charging for rims.
No, they don't charge us for rims.
Because I was up at Bennington Tire today and I was talking to them and they charge a $5 fee for rims. Why don't we charge anything?
Because they don't charge us for anything.
Right, but you still have to move them. So shouldn't we get a few bucks from them because we're the ones that are gonna be turning around and have to move those tires and stuff? Just because we don't pay anything for it, doesn't mean it doesn't cost us anything.
Well, that's right. So when we get rid of tires, Tom, when you get rid of tires, do you pay tonnage when we get rid of tires? It's by the piece, by the tire, right?
It's all piece.
Okay, so when we accept a tire with a rim, it doesn't cost us any more to get rid of that than it does one without.
They make money on that.
I know they do. I'm not, but I'm worried about us.
exactly.
That's it.
Okay, so if we're not paying, if we pay $5 for a 16-inch tire to get rid of it, and we pay $5.50 to get rid of it with a rim, then we should charge. But if we pay $5 with or without the rim, then I'm fine with that because I'd rather have them bring that tire with a rim to us than have it over the bank on Lad Road.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm fine with that, you know.
I'm just asking questions.
No, it's a good question, Carl. It was a great question.
The other question I have is why are we taking propane tanks with valves?
Well, because we can do that. And what I simply do is cut them off.
What's that?
I simply cut them off and throw them in the metal.
But isn't that kind of hazardous?
Not really.
Then you're,
They're empty. So, you know,
uh,
you get a very little smell out of them, and that's it. But none of them going without holes in them or being empty. So,
okay, I would like to see you charge more for those.
well, after we make money, well, they win the metal, scrap metals.
I understand that, but you're turning around and you're actually cutting the thing off. You're actually turning around. You're not there for free.
No,
Okay, so we're really not making money on that because we're paying you to cut those things off.
right, we bought a sawzall, we got metal blades. It takes me probably a minute and a half to cut it off.
And we're not charging for tanks without the valves anyway. And we put those in our metal bin.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so
Basically saying that.
I have,
I'm just,
right, well, I'm sorry, Carl. I
That's
thought you were
fine,
done.
that's fine,
I
that's
thought you were done. Are you all set?
no, I'm all done
Okay.
for now.
How many propane tanks a year do you do?
Not that many really. I gotta do some, I'm gonna cut some off this week, but then I got too cold. I'm not going out there and cutting all that.
Come
So
on.
what do you think? Less than 100?
I'll tell you what, my ear.
Light one of them on fire. If there's something, it'll keep you warm while you're cutting it off.
Yeah, light them up while I'm going, but no, it's just, but it's, you know, we don't get that many.
So what do you think? Less than 100?
Oh, my, way. 40, maybe 30, 40.
Okay.
Tom, demolition and construction. Just curious where these, numbers came from. So half a cubic yard of demolition, you have set up at $42.
I just raised it,
Right, I see that. And a cubic yard, you have set up at $88.
Yeah.
So it's not,
but it should be the half, should be
well, that's what I think. It should be, so should we go to $44 for a half a yard
40. It should be
and stay and keep the cubic yard at 88?
I'll go through that again.
I think we should keep it's just
It should
something
be
I know.
consistent across the
Right,
board.
I think a half yard should be $44.
It should be proportional. I
Right,
want to try to keep it even,
right. And then the quarter yard 22. Right, we'll go 11, 22, 44 and 88.
yeah, I'll change that on that and get that squared away. On the, yes, C and D.
There's just, I just want to be consistent across the board. That's all,
I understand.
you know, that was about the only thing that I really,
What I'm envisioning here, once we get the compactors in, we'll put this manhole down where the number one dumpster is. The number two dumpster, we're gonna leave it for a spare because if something breaks down, we're gonna have to put some stuff someplace. And then we got three more dumpsters down there, plus our other spare. So that what we can do is we'll just use those three for the end, you know, we'll all be indoor construction now. You can put it in any of them.
well, yeah, I think where we're gonna save, in my personal opinion. Okay, there's a couple places we're gonna save a significant amount of money. One is with the compactors. That's the goal of the compactors
I mean,
anyway,
absolutely.
right? On our trucking. Okay, so that's gonna be our biggest, should be, I'm not saying will be, but should be one of our biggest savings, right? One of our other places that I envision seeing pretty substantial savings is on our construction. Once that's undercover and we're not paying for water,
Right.
right? Well, because right now we pay by the ton and every time it rains, we're paying eight pounds a gallon. Right? We learned that in school a long time ago. I think that's going to be another major place that we're going to save.
Really try to keep on it, but somebody slipped one by last year, last 2 weeks, they put a bunch of drywall on one of the outside ones.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Once they're undercover, doesn't matter. So the drywall in. That drywall's not soaking up any water. It's under a roof. That's what's killing us. That's one of the things.
I know.
And I know you know that.
I know it's hurting too, Mike.
Yeah, no, and I know that, Tom. I just think those are a couple places where we're going to save a significant amount of money.
Diligent about that,
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm
people coming in, so.
not faulting you. It's just,
Yeah.
that's right. What they do is they come in and they dump it in there where it's not supposed to go. And then they complain about the cost. Well, you contributed to the higher cost by putting something where it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
At the time, it could be more than a little frustrating.
I'm with you, Tom.
Really, really.
Are we good on everything else with the transfer station? I didn't see anything that,
What?
Well, I'll redo this stuff and I'll send it all off and Sarah and
everybody's good with the fees?
so forth.
Carl, you got all your questions answered?
Yeah,
And you're-
pretty much. I
You're
mean,
happy with the answers?
I'm satisfied.
Okay, well, there you go. Happy, satisfied, I guess they're close.
Oh, there are two different things, but
Yeah, they're close
we're
though.
getting there. We're getting
They're
there.
in the same ballpark at least anyway, right? All right, we're good.
We're getting there.
They're good. I go watch the Lions play with Notre Dame then.
There we go. I'm trying to make it quick.
Might be a little blurry-eyed in the morning, but
That's all right. We're trying to make it, yeah, depends on how they play, right?
I do appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we will take care of this. We'll just tweak it a little bit here and there and
Yeah,
make some corrections and, we should be in good shape.
perfect. Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Thanks, Tom.
Discussion with planning commission chair updates and future plans. John, that's you.
Come on up.
Come on up, John.
Hey, John?
I apologize. I had a sinus infection and stuff going on, so I'm trying to get over that. I was gonna go
Right over there.
and some don't work on my computer right now, so it's been a pain. As far as planning right now, want to start updating bylaws with the new rules, new laws that came out from the state. We want to, there's some other topics that we got into, but I know that those all got squashed and different things happened in between. But if there's anything else that the board wants that want us to start working on, we can start adding those things in.
Well, I'd love for you to get done with, love to get that, to just go right hard and heavy on those bylaws. Get them in, get them done. And then we'll go on to whatever from there. I mean, there can probably be a couple things, but really, that's where I'd love you to put most of your energy right now.
Okay.
Speaking only as me, not the rest of the board.
Well, that's right. That's what we're doing, right? Let's talk, as individuals, and then we'll give it, I think as individuals, we'll give you, what we see in them. Then as a board, we'll make a decision right now and push them.
Correct.
And push that towards you guys.
Yeah.
That all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Angie, everything that you looking for from the planning commission?
No?
Jamie?
Just update per the
Yeah,
state
updates.
legislatures that passed, just so we're staying on
Mhm.
in track. That's the main.
And that's on starting on our next meeting here, so.
Brian?
Just making sure that we start meeting more regularly.
Yep.
Because it is the chair's responsibility to call for meetings.
Yep.
There's a couple things from my standpoint. Absolutely the bylaws, because the state put us way behind the 8 ball with the housing,
Mhm.
with the cluster housing, for lack of a better term right now. We're way behind on that kind of stuff. So I think that's I think those are kind of a really important thing right now. I think one of the other things that we need to look at, is I think our bylaws are a little bit lax on, and I know the state's gonna supersede some of this stuff too, but there is things that we can do as a town, on, cell towers and those kinds of things out there, that, through the Public Utilities Commission. Certain things that I think we can do that we haven't paid a real close attention to as through our planning and zoning and our bylaws. Jesus, seemed like there was one other thing, but maybe not. I think.
You need the technical assistance, because, there's a lot that goes into
Right.
changing bylaws and all that. BPRC is, that's within their continuum of care, so, Hannah can put you in connection with the CRC to make sure you get the technical support you need.
And I believe they've done a lot of the initial work in the 2022 report they did, when you guys did where you could develop stuff in town.
Yep.
If you look at the end of that report, they turned around and did the whole thing on updating the bylaws with a new Home Act
Yeah.
stuff from the state.
And they're sort of the ones that oversee the regional plan and then help the towns implement those regional plans, at the town level, so definitely they're a great resource. And it's my understanding that the town will soon be in charge of Act 250. Land use bylaws, all that kind of stuff, so you should get that stuff going before the new stuff gets piled on.
Okay, for it.
Right, and I think, I think pushing to get the updated bylaws, John, with because, it's a process, right? We have to, you gotta have public hearings and you gotta do this. I mean, it's not just a matter of meeting a couple of meetings a month and rewriting the bylaws and we're good to go.
Right.
It just takes time and you know that, so I don't have to get into that, but I think that cluster housing thing is really important because we don't have a lot of, our bylaws are pretty lax on that, multi.
Your page is talking about, accessory dwelling unit.
No, I'm thinking more of the, where they can do, like a duplex
Yeah, multi.
or multi-apartment.
Right, because there's no more single units.
That's right. And our bylaws we
reflect
don't
that.
address that.
Right.
Yep.
We don't address any of that. So we need to get those updated as quick as we can. And go from there. What do you, so we've given you our kind of directive. Or what we think, right? Anything else? Board have anything else? I think we're all good, right? Give us-
Good.
I think we just gave him a bunch.
Well, yeah, no, it's not, it's, it's kind of the same, but it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's not
Not
2
gonna be
minutes.
done in a couple meetings.
No, well, it shouldn't take too awful long because like Tara said, the directive is already, BCRC's already done some of this stuff.
Already done some of this.
So reach out to BCRC, grab whatever you can get from them. There's no sense reinventing the wheel when it's already there.
I should have.
Right, we just have to readjust the size of the wheel or do whatever, but there's no sense in reinventing the whole thing.
Yep.
Just reach out to them and go from there. Anything, I guess I'm gonna put the ball in your court now. Anything that you or your board would like to see from the select board? You guys brought up anything in your meetings, any discussion? Anything that we could do to help you guys?
Nothing I can think of yet, but I can, we'll discuss it too at the next meeting too, and then,
Yeah.
and then if it's something I can forward it on to.
That's fine. Yeah, I guess what we're trying to do, we talked about this back a couple of months ago, is we're trying to, have the chain of communication better between everybody.
Between all the boards.
Between the select board and the planning commission, select board and the DRB if we need to, or Parks and Rec, or whoever we need to go with.
Yep.
Let's get communication going so that we're not, well, what's the planning commission doing? I don't know, nobody's talking to them. Right? Or the type thing. And I'm just using that because you're here,
Yeah.
obviously. So that's kind of what we're trying to do, a little bit of, so yeah, if there's anything that the next planning commission you guys come up with that the select board can do to help make your, commission more successful or whatever, let us know.
Okay.
See what we can do. I mean, that's our goal. It was a goal on this whole process, really.
I think just giving us some clear goals for the planning commission, I think that's gonna help a lot. That way, we do have a meeting, it's just not an endless debate on what way we should go in.
Right.
You got a direction to have.
At least you got something to start with right now and go with that. And then when those are done, okay, let's tackle the next project, right? I think that Housing Act, we're way behind on the state on that one. The state did a whole bunch of things that kind of crazy and they're not, I don't think they're geared towards, smaller towns. I think it's geared more towards,
City living, yeah.
that's right,
The rationale was when you have these larger, older houses and you have this large, older house and it's only set up for a single unit, then, it makes sense. This is the state's, it makes sense to just not have single units in the state zoning.
I'm not sure the state had any rationale
Oh,
behind
they
it.
had that rationale.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think they- well,
Because I watched some of the meetings they had on that.
It seems more like they go with short-term feel good without any forethought.
Exactly.
Basically, but don't forget, that was set for the Burlington Metroplex.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That was set.
Like I said, short-term with no thinking.
Wasn't thought out.
But all them extra people they allowed.
What's that?
All them extra
Well,
people
I
they
mean, there's
brought
that aspect to it, but there's.
in. They needed housing.
That's all right. Let's,
Let's just keep going.
right. John's got
A lot on his plate.
he's got a direction for his planning commission. And if he has anything that the planning commission needs for us, he'll bring it back to us. You know, your next meeting is when?
19th.
Okay, so next week, right? No, 2 weeks.
Maybe you should reach out to BCRC before that, see if they can send somebody down. Or at least send some information over for us.
Yep. We'll find that. I'll get a
Perfect.
report.
Perfect.
Excellent. Anything else for John?
Nope, I think we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming.
John. See you on the 19th.
You guys have a good one.
You too.
Don't forget your drink.
Don't forget your drink.
Yes, take your contamination with you. Where's the wipes? Bye, John.
Okay, grand list errors and omissions, discussion and action.
I need to get with that for you to sign, but I sent that all to you earlier. There were the two trailers that became the towns. And then I believe an error on the Armstrong property when it was subdivided. You all just need to make a motion to accept the changes to the 24 grand list.
Can we have the numbers so we can include them in the motion?
Yeah, because we have to have the parcel numbers.
Yeah. I was thinking,
And there's only one on here, right?
I don't know if I got that.
I didn't see parcel numbers listed in the email.
They neither, that's why I was.
And I only have one here. I only have the Armstrong one here. We have the parcel numbers are on there.
Yes. The second one is the one that you guys signed.
Isn't there? Wasn't there another one or just this one?
Just
thought there was-
three listed on there. There's two
Oh.
trailers and an Armstrong.
I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry. They're all. I got it. Okay, sorry. I was misreading this thing. My fault. Errors and omissions. Span number 495-156-12205. Was inactive parcel made active in error. Span number 495-156-10099 came active when it was town property. And 495-156-11202 became active when it was town property.
Make a motion that we adjust the said property numbers 3 total.
Mhm.
To make the adjustment to the grand list,
2024 grand list.
2024 grand list.
I'll second.
Any more discussion on that? Any questions? All those in favor? This needs to be signed on the second page. Yep. Well, it needs to be signed by the board. Excuse me. Old Town Hall discussion and future plan.
So I brought this back so that you could hopefully give me direction. It's been a year since we postponed the community center idea. At the time, if I had thought a little more clearly, I would have pulled out the town plan and proved how a community center fits within our town plan. I can do that today. It is page 62 of our town plan under community facilities, goals, objectives, and actions. So it is all here, but I basically would like to know if I can start trying to get services in the old town hall and then start getting grant funding and other things, which I would of course get prior approval for. Or if you would prefer, I survey residents again. I will say that we've been paying for the building still. This is the third. We've been in this building for 3 years. The heat costs are the same as they were when we were in it. And it's just sitting empty. And I know for a fact the town hall seniors could use it. With very little.
Yeah.
And we're still paying insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the bills are all.
All the same.
Mhm.
And so it was literally a year ago that you asked me to wait for the CRC study, which is done, and it didn't really suggest a lot of options. I think it boils down to, we can offer it to social service agencies who would be sort of self-sufficient in using the building. When we think about, this was supposed to be a great meeting space, but it takes a lot of logistics. Myself or Hannah have to be here because the rest of the building is then open. We can't just give out keys. We want to have like a lockbox with the key. However, if we did something like that at the old town office, if we had a lockbox with a key, the agencies.
Right, it's not individual people, it's the agency.
Agencies such as Head Start, such as PAVE, such as Sunrise, such as the Pownell Seniors, agencies that would have a real use for that building, would have approval from you all to use the building, they would have a code to get the key out and get into the building. And we wouldn't have to meet them and do all of that logistical stuff. So it's different than this space. It's definitely different than this.
It's already handicap accessible.
And we had the energy assessment done on it. We've had the ADA assessment done on it. So we've got a lot of like the pre-work into it.
Mhm.
And I have issues with, it's a great space, but security issues with having our town office where we're doing possibly, sensitive, I guess, well, that wouldn't be the right word, but doing
Business.
there and trying to manage this space and not being able to secure the business space from this space.
Right. There's no way to really keep it separate. Someone has to be here.
Right, I agree with that.
Anybody else have anything?
I'm good with that. I'd like to.
I would love to see something happen with the building instead of sitting there being empty.
I'd like to see,
The seniors and people using it.
I'd like to see some feelers. I guess for lack of a better term, sent out, Tara, to see what organizations may or may not be interested in using the property. And we may already have that.
I do,
I-
and I hesitate to do it again because I had to turn around and tell them that
That we could, they
that's
could do it.
it's really bad.
Well, I think
Yeah,
so.
you had to put it on hold.
So I'm gonna ask this board, right? I'm gonna ask this board. I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna ask for a vote right now, but I'm gonna ask for a directive.
That's a vote, Mike.
What's that?
Make it a vote.
Well, we can't, okay, all right, so let's make it a vote. I want to see the space used like everybody else here.
Yes.
So I think we're all in agreement that space,
Yep.
we're paying,
Yep.
the town is paying
Yeah.
for a space right now
Yeah.
that has, that
Nobody's
absolutely
using it.
nothing's being done.
Nothing.
And it has,
Right.
I say we either use it or get rid of it.
but it has potential.
But it does have potential for a lot of our, or some, maybe not a lot, but some of our agencies in town that could use that space for certain things. Now we may be able to piggyback with this is just popping into my head right now. We may be able to piggyback on with the library. She does things down there. Maybe she can do things in Pownell Center where
Absolutely.
people who live across the street
Can get to
here
it.
can
Yep.
get to it where they can't get to the library, right? So on a Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock in July, she's doing things that sound right. We could give her a space right here where she could get some of the seniors here to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that would just popped into my head right there. There's nothing, so.
It's, yes.
That would fall into that whole
Absolutely. It's
trying,
about making more connections and
Yes.
bringing,
Right,
the
community.
very old together with the very young. Those are the underserved populations in our town. It is a statewide goal that these things are addressed. It's not something that I just,
yeah.
pulled off.
How do we want to handle
Other
that?
towns are also doing similar
Um,
things.
I'm trying to think of the way to say it.
Well, what logistics do we need to do in the building so we can let these people utilize the building besides getting out of the black box? Is there a little bit more stuff that we gotta do inside? Cause I know we threw up different ideas,
Probably.
you know.
I really
Can you-
have not looked at it, or thought about it.
Can you bring this back to the next meeting of what expenses we would incur to, how much is a lockbox gonna cost us to get that set up? After the energy assessment and the ADA assessment and those things that have been done, what do we have to do to be in total compliance if the seniors were gonna use it every Tuesday?
Mhm.
What kind of expenses would we incur? And then, excuse me, if we can have that for, I wouldn't think the 16th, but our next regular meeting,
Mhm.
which would be 23rd, right?
I think so.
If we could have that for our next regular meeting, then by then I'll think of the right terminology to come up with to move it forward so that it's not sitting there idle and empty.
And depending on how we're gonna lay it out, I think the fire marshal will change the occupancy number too.
Yes,
So.
yeah, but I might.
That's another part that we gotta look at.
Right.
We have it posted.
Right.
but I'm
It's not gonna happen next week.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
putting it out there.
No, you're right, Bobby, but you're right. So it's gonna take a little time to get this, but let's bring that back on the 23rd with those things, Tara, so that we can say, okay, it's gonna cost us $250 for a lockbox. Yes, we're gonna do it. Let's do it.
Right.
And type thing.
Yep.
All right.
Especially if the seniors really want to get in there.
Doesn't matter who wants to, right?
I know, right.
But-
I agree.
As soon as we get people using it, you can then apply for grants based on
their
the
use.
use and not stop.
You gotta get people to use it in order to be able to apply for grants to get the people to,
And I can.
So should we at least have them put it to a motion that we're authorizing Tara to gather information? That way there's no.
No, I think.
I don't think we have to do that.
I'm not gonna-
I know where you're going with that, but I don't think we have to say that
I
we're.
just want to make sure it doesn't go down the rabbit hole like it did before.
I know where you're.
You know where I'm going.
I know exactly where you're going with it, but I don't think, if it comes down to where we have to authorize her to gather information,
That's pretty
That's
sad.
pretty sad.
something pretty wrong.
That's pretty wrong.
But I agree with you. I know where you're going.
And I'd like to remind everybody that Tara is really, I know that she doesn't like the title town manager, but she graduated. We paid for her to go to school. There was also a grant. She did not want that title, but she really is a town manager.
Doing the job.
And she's doing the job of a town manager. That's all I'd like to say about that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That can of worms.
Tara's official title is
Executive.
Executive Assistant for the town of Pownell, making that clear.
Because that's what she chose.
And we agreed.
And we
As a
agree,
board.
absolutely.
Part-time cleaning position hiring recommendation in action.
So we had a lot of candidates for this.
We had like
position,
12,
which was
didn't
really
we?
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
11
Wow.
applicants. I narrowed it down based on, experience and that sort of thing. I tried to do 3 interviews. I ended up doing 2. They were both really great candidates. But I am recommending that we hire Nikki Carbonaro. Her maiden name is Carbonaro. She's not married Carbonaro. She's from Strohmeyer Road because there are 2 in Pownell. I'm trying to tell everyone which one it is. And so I interviewed with her. She's great. She's very friendly. Most of us know her.
You said she had really good, references.
Very good references. She worked with Clara for years.
Clara Howard.
Yeah. She has a planning experience, so that was my recommendation.
What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to hire Nikki Carbonaro as our part-time cleaning person on recommendation of our executive assistant, since she did the interviews.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Yes, I have a question. So this is gonna be the agreed upon rate that we had it listed for?
Yes.
Okay.
$20 an hour, up to 10 hours a week.
Okay. All right, that's all I had.
And no more questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving right along. You're welcome, Angie.
Yeah.
Fiscal year general and road budget discussion.
This was just to see if anybody had any questions, anything you wanted to say. I did kind of want to just point out that I made some pie charts for everyone
Yes, and you did a lovely job.
that show, and these will be, I will put them on the website tomorrow. They are in the archive or should be soon.
Hannah, when
See
you,
them?
when you do the, post this on Facebook, could you include that pie chart?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the pie chart shows the, essential services. It shows one pie chart that has essential services separated from the general budget, so you can see sort of the overall percentage you're paying tax-wise towards that. I really want to show people that almost 70% of your taxes is actually school taxes.
Yes.
You know, the nine, and this pie chart, 9% is for the general fund, 7% is essential services, 16% is the road fund, and then like minuscule, the ballot articles. And then on the second pie chart, what I did was I grouped the general fund with the essential services. So our.
But that would say
general fund
education.
Tax portion is 16% of the overall tax bill. And it matches road. Road has 16% of your overall tax bill, and now municipal general fund with essential services has.
So I want to touch on the essential services part of it for a minute. Because that's new in here.
Yep.
Okay, so I've given this some thought since an email or two was coming through. After the initial budget. So the number for essential services, which equals 7% of the budget, that total number is all three organizations.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So it's going to be short and it's going to be sweet. The $415,000 for essential services, whether it's here in the general budget, or if it was down there under ballot articles, it was going to be the same number.
Exactly.
Those are the numbers that
They came up with.
the three organizations had, whether it was going to be on a ballot article, so you're going to vote for it on paper A,
Yes.
or you're going to vote for it on paper B.
Exactly.
Okay, or against it, whatever, however you're going to vote. You're going to vote, whether it's on paper A or paper B, you were voting for $415,000, period.
Yes.
That's just the facts. Now it's built into the general budget, but it's the same numbers.
Right.
The numbers were not going to change if they were ballot articles.
That's correct.
It was not going to change at all. I just want to get that out there, and we all know that. Well, unfortunately, some emails that came through weren't the friendliest on that part of what's going on and where did we come up with those numbers. We didn't come up with the numbers, okay? We didn't. Those are numbers that were presented through, requested through emergency services.
That's right. And I just want to remind everybody, we had a meeting with every single one of them. And then we had a combined meeting and they all told us what they needed and how much it was going to cost.
Right.
This isn't something that just came out of thin air.
Well, yeah, we didn't pull this out. So
No.
I just, like I said, you're going to vote for it on paper A or you're going to vote for it on paper B. You're going to cast your vote one way or the other on either A or B.
but you were gonna cast your vote for $415,000, period.
Exactly.
And I just wanted to get that out there. That's a perfect opportunity to bring that up.
Yeah.
So,
Great job on the chart too, by the way.
Yeah.
And you should have some of them for
I will.
town meeting.
And we can actually make posters now with our new printer, so.
Oh,
We
nice.
will make a poster.
Very nice.
Anybody have anything on the road or general budget? Any questions? Everybody looked at that?
Yep,
I thought it looks like,
straightforward.
it's a pretty super solid budget
Yep.
for comparatively speaking to what everybody else is going through. You know,
Actually,
I know our general fund looks like it went up a super ton amount of money, but it's at 450.
it actually came down.
Right.
The amount to be raised by taxes for the general fund came down, but because we added the 415,000 for
Exactly.
services, it's
Exactly.
like it went up.
Right,
No,
exactly.
so I'm gonna sit here and say that I'm fairly proud of the budget that has been put together for
Yep,
the next fiscal year. Both road.
Can't say that for the state side.
Nope, both road in general, so that's not.
or for the school.
We have
No control.
Out of that 30 something percent that we have control over, 33% of what we have control over, Brian, I'm pretty happy with what we have, so.
Yep.
Yeah, the 67% for the education portion of it is like, oh man, but whatever. It's not that's another battle. That's not one we don't have to answer that one and we don't have to fight that one. So, all right. Town warning review and discussion.
So this is the draft warning. The one that I sent you, Article 5 will actually come off. That's, it was an article. We were gonna try to remove the public monies, trustee of public monies. But after VLCT and our lawyer said it's easier just to leave it on there, we've decided to leave it on there. But then we had the cemetery article. And the Article 7 isn't one that I've mentioned to you all before. Julie and I did a town meeting training the other day and learned that you can actually, remember when we did the vote to do a postcard
Yes,
to report notice of availability? You can do away with that and just post notice of availability on your website. So that would save us another almost $1,500 plus my time of sorting the voter checklist to do the mailing of the postcards. So that's why I put this on here to see if the voters will approve us just posting on our website and at the stores instead of doing the postcard mailers. Again, it saves lots of money and lots of time. And then I've had everyone read this a few times and I've done the numbers are in there. If they don't change on the 16th, these will be the numbers that you all approve next week. If they don't change.
sounds good.
Yep.
And it's a different format, a little bit different of a format. After that training, I decided it looked better the way they had it in the training, so.
All right, that's what you did the training for.
Mhm.
All right, we're good with that?
Yep.
Public comment, you know.
Hands are up.
No hands?
No hands.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to enter into an executive session for legal.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive for legal.
So
Legal,
moved.
excuse me.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.